Hey guys, thanks for tuning back in again. My name's Lee, Crypto Mainly. Wow, look at the our new channel's growing very nicely. Thank you very much indeed. We've got 71 subscribers now, which is absolutely fantastic. So I'm delighted with that, and thank you for your lovely comments and for spending the time watching my content. I really appreciate it, guys. Thanks ever so much. Sincerely, I do mean that. Okay, so let's talk about the market. The market is looking well. Bitcoin is trying to bust some moves. Market is looking very strong still. As you know, over the last couple of days, I've been a little bit more on the bearish side, or at least to just demonstrate to you some bearish signs that I've seen. So, unfortunately, guys, I'm going to continue that trend because there are some things concerning. So, let's just jump into the content and go straight into the charts. Okay, so this is my scribbly chart that I trade in daily, as you know. So please forgive the mess of this, but I was just looking at this last night, actually, just mulling over a few things, and just looking back through history and things, what's happened in the past. I mean, if you really want to frighten yourselves half to death, which I did myself accidentally by stumbling across this, if we look at the this trend line here, so let me just pop my highlighter on then. So if we look at this this descending trend line here, this resistance line, and we look at the tests that we've had on it previously. So we've got the one there, which obviously took the rejection. Then the second attempt, which took a much deeper correction. And then we look at the more recent times now here, where we've come up against this same. So, I mean, I'm quite a fan of fractals. I always find them quite interesting. I don't think they're anything you can, you can go by 100% or anything like that. But I do find them interesting. But this fractal that I was looking at last night. I mean, if you don't want to have a small heart attack, then possibly better not to look at this. But if we look at, if this turns into a small M pattern at the top here, as it did here, and then we just project that across to where we are now. So the high there, if you like, is this high here, and then look what that is demonstrating. Rather worryingly, it's suggesting that we could actually end up back down at 30,000. I think that's unlikely, but nonetheless, I just enjoyed frightening myself to half to death last night when I was looking at that. About 2 o'clock this morning when it was pitch black, I nearly gave myself a heart attack. But I thought I'd share that with you, so I'm sure you'll thank me for that. Moving on swiftly. So this is the larger projection that we've been looking at for a while now, and as you can see, I mean, Bitcoin is looking extremely strong. This rising channel that we've spoken about. If I just highlight that for you in a darker color so you can see it a little bit more clearly. Some of you will have watched the video in the last couple of days and know what I'm talking about, but this rising channel here, which is just marked off by this dotted line, and obviously the support line here, which is this support line, is obviously very significant and goes back a long period in time. This lower one here, okay, and then you've got a parallel channel which is parallel with that support, which goes back a long time. So yeah, just interesting stuff really. But if we look closely, we zoom in a little bit, you can see that Bitcoin really is trying to break that resistance there. The only thing I'd say about that is if we look back here, if we look there, you can see that there's wicks. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wicks in that small area there. Bearing in mind yesterday's candle, this candle here, I'm sure that most of you will know, but if you don't, that candle here is a bearish candle. What that's showing is that there's a lot of sell pressure on the close. So when the candle closed, if you do a fib level, the fib measurement from the top to the bottom. Sorry, I had it right in the first place. Beg your pardon. Sorry. So basically, you can see here. You can see that that's the top of the wick. You've got the low of the wick here. So this is the range that the day traded in, if you like. So I'll just draw that out for you. For those of you that don't know, you've got the top of the wick there. Okay, so sorry, I'm not doing this very well, but I'm just trying to demonstrate to you that the high to the low on this daily time frame. So we've got the daily time frame selected up the top there. Then you've got the high to the low. That's the range that the price traded in on this one candle, i.e. this one day. And as you can see, the the amount of sell pressure here, you've so yeah, so the high to the low. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't really prepare this very well, and I'm just trying to show you something and demonstrate to you, but I haven't prepared. Prepared it very well, so apologies for that. I'm messing around a little bit. But the low to the high, you can see that the majority of the buying and selling for that day was actually less than less than 38.2% of the day. So the sell pressure above this candle, if you've got a candle that closes below that, when you're measuring top to bottom, if you get a candle closed below the 38.2, that actually does suggest that this has actually got a very bearish bias. And some of you will already know that just by looking at the candle itself, you can see that actually that's you would call a hammer candle, but obviously it's at the top of the pattern, which would suggest that that's possibly potentially a reversal candle there. So if we go back to what I was just trying to say to you earlier about the wicks and things up here, and we bear in mind we've got this first wick, long wick here, and although now price action is actually pushing above, we haven't closed this day yet, so there's every chance that by the end of today that this price action will have dropped back down and come back down below the the resistance line there, and we'll have a series of wicks like this, followed by that deeper correction. So I'm at the moment, guys, I'm being very cautious. I'm just sitting on the sidelines or using very tight stop losses on any trades that I'm in. There's a potential, obviously, of course, that judging from the bullish signs, that the price will take off. It will break through, break the resistance completely, absorb that price level at 47,150. So it's the green dotted line here. Is at 47,150, let's say, just for round numbers. And that 47,150 is significant. If you go onto a monthly time frame, you'll see what I mean. Let me just get rid of the drawings when you zoom in like that. So the 47,150 is actually just there, okay, and you can see obviously it's provided a significant resistance in the past, and also you've also got the wick high here, which is also in the same sort of vicinity. So 47,150 for me is going to be a key area to watch. So let's just go back into where we were talking about here. Okay, so I mean, just guys, I've said this time and time again, but nobody, no technical analysis will tell you exactly what's going to happen. If it did, then everybody would be rich, and therefore nobody would be rich, right? Because it would just be easy, and there'll be patterns that you can learn, and there'll be, it'll be very straightforward, and everybody would be wealthy, which would mean that nobody would be wealthy. So please bear that in mind. The market currently has a directional positive bullish bias. And we can see that by the positive nice price action here, and there are other signs as well of positive positive indications on the indicators and things. But let me just I just did a back test of the RSI just for my own sanity's sake, and I found something quite interesting, which unfortunately, guys, close your ears again if you're a bull, because this does support the fact that there's or at least a corrective move coming. So every time, just for just a little trading tip for you guys, every now and then what I do is I produce a clear chart, a clean chart with nothing on it, and I will start again with no indicators, and I would draw out some trend lines and support and resistance lines and things like that. In this instance, I just wanted to do an RSI back test, but actually when you add these the wick highs on here already, you actually can see that this could be classed as a rather huge rising wedge, which would also be confluence with what we've spoken before about here with our retests of the bottom of this area here down at around about the 39,650 mark if it gets down that far. Bitcoin being Bitcoin, it could just turn around. Obviously, there's a lot happening in the world at the moment. You've got geopolitical events, which are very sad indeed. But and obviously that's having an effect on financial markets. Who knows what's going to happen with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in relation, and as a result of what's happening there, it could literally it could change everything. But just going back to the RSI side of things, if you look at the points when this red dotted line, okay, is the bullish control zone. So the red dotted line there is at 70%. At any time that the price action, so of the two peaks, we've got 65k peak, we've got 69k peak. Any time that the price action has come up to the red dotted line and been in the bullish zone, I've just drawn those parallel lines there just to show you at each point that is. And you can see from the red arrows here at the top that each and every time that we've got these, either it comes up to and it goes past the red dotted line, or it comes up to and tests the red dotted line. It lines up absolutely perfectly each time with with corrective moves on each of those occasions. Even here, that doesn't look very much of a correction there, but I'll show you in a second. It's larger than you think. This one here, this one here, this one here. I mean, you get the message, guys, from this. But if I just show you, it doesn't look too bad on the screen. But if you look at, let me put the magnet on. So this one, for example, looks like the most shallow one, shall we say? So the least of the problems. And to be fair, it was a 12% move, which 12% isn't drastic, isn't dramatic. It's not a huge correction in Bitcoin terms, but 12% in your altcoins will probably translate to probably 20 to 30% correction in your altcoins that you're holding. So depending on how quickly Bitcoin makes the move, of course, if it trends down very slowly, then sometimes the money flows out of Bitcoin and into the altcoins. So that's why we keep our eye on Bitcoin dominance as well, to see where the money flow is going. This one here is a bit more scary. Get my mouse on there. So yeah, that was that's a 25% correction there. And most of these actually on this left side are all around about that sort of area. So if we go to sorry, I'm having a nightmare today with everything I try and do is going wrong. So one of those days. God, I'm making a botch up with this one. Let me see if I can open this up to make it. See if I can do it with a larger screen. My mouse, I've got a new mouse on its way. This mouse keeps giving me problems. So, but there you go. A tradesman never blames his. Was it a bad tradesman never blames his tools, or I don't know, or bad tradesman blame something like that. I don't know. You get the message. So that's a 31% correction there. 31%, crikey. We've got a 26% one there. We've got 18% there, and so on and so on. You get the message, guys. I'm sure the people that watch this channel are intelligent people, and you'll understand what the point I'm trying to make here. But what another thing to think about is, because even though we've had these huge corrective moves when the RSI is this high, that is hasn't left necessarily been a death sentence for the Bitcoin price. So as you can see, from the corrective move down here, it continued higher. Okay, we had some corrections along the way, but if you panic, if you thought, oh, this is it, it's just going to continue, and panic sold here and just came out of the market altogether, then you would have missed this move. And the same for this correction and this correction. This correction, even to some degree, so we did come up to to retest that breakdown. And the same here, really. If you look, if you'd have panicked out of the markets here, then it's a similar sort of story again. You've got the price continued from those corrective moves over time. There were some peaks and troughs along the way, but ultimately it's still up and to the right. So if this does happen here, I personally think that there's a summer alt season coming, but I think we've got to get this out the way first. Okay, we've got to see something, from a corrective point of view on this first of some kind. And obviously, if you want to know a bit more detail about that, look back for the last couple of videos. I'll put some links in the description to the videos previously where I'm talking about this in quite a lot of detail, so I won't go over those again. But there you go, guys. Unfortunately, another bearish argument. But as I say, I wouldn't worry too much in terms of, is that going to be a death sentence? No, bear in mind. I mean, people will be panic selling if this gets down anywhere below 40,000 again. Then people will, we could get like a capitulation event where the price just comes down below the support line. I mean, the absolute low on there. So if we get anywhere down below 37,500, then a close below there, then this whole market structure changes to, we're going to get bearish continuation, probably back down to 22, 24. If we get down below this, these sorts of lows here. But I mean, I can't see that happen personally. I think we're in for a really nice alt season coming. But all that I'm saying for now, guys, just protect yourself and make sure that you've got stop losses and things in place. Because at the end of the day, if we do get even a 10% correction here, and then we lift off, that 10% correction is going to give you a 20 to 25% discount on your altcoins. So personally speaking, I've just moved my trading account to USDT for now. If I miss a few percent and things whilst we're at this high risk area and this high risk zone, then so be it. If we break out and take off, then I'll possibly reconsider re-entering. But I'll keep my eye on the market and I'll try and update you as best I can, as well as I can over the next few days. Just a quick note on our Ethereum chart. I'm going to get rid of this scribble because it looks like my 3-year-old's just drawn across the screen. But those of you that watched the videos previously will know what that's about. And as I said before, I mean, I entered here. I was waiting for the corrective move back down to 3,000. I actually think now we're up into this zone here, that we will actually probably get this a pullback of some kind, which will also be in relation to to this Bitcoin corrective move. So I do think that Ethereum is going to come back down. Let's just see if we did a measure on that, or what that would look like if it was a so a 10% correction would actually bring us back down to 3,100. So yeah, I mean, it would make sense. We're coming into a resistance zone here on Ethereum as well. So it's looking like it will take this corrective position now, and possibly even I think I'm going to take some profits here. I'm going to move my stop loss from this trade that I told you, that I said that I was entering. I entered here, of course, as you remember, because it didn't come back to 3,000. So I did enter this breakout here, but I'm still about that's about 10% in profit at the moment. In a very short space of time, because obviously it's a futures trade, so 10% profit there on that futures position. So yeah, I'm going to move my stops up to probably below the 32,800 level. Sorry, the 3,280 level. So I'll probably bring it down to my stop would probably be 3,250, so just below this level. So if it carries on higher, then this trade will then be in profit anyway. And if it does roll over and come back down, it will still stop me out whilst I'm in some profit for this trade. And then I'll look to re-enter when we get back down to these lower levels here, which I'm sure is going to be something which happens shortly. So
bounds.
So some of you that have watched the previous video will remember that I said about the potential of where we are with Rune. As you can see, it didn't actually come back as I suspected. Well, it hasn't yet. I suspect, obviously, if Bitcoin rolls over, it will draw the price back down. But when you look at the waves chart, I said that this is a potential of coming up to the top of the W, breaking out and fulfilling the the 1.618 or the measured move of this huge W pattern if we get to the neckline. And the reason I'm showing you this is because the waves is looking very similar to that. And you can see what's happened with the waves chart. It's actually broke, but you can't see very well. But it's breaking out, and it is just going vertical, so it's not actually waiting for anybody. So it's quite an explosive move, and I suspect something like that's going to happen very similar to ruin. The reason for that as well is if you look back through time, the actual all-time high is $21.28 was the all-time high. And once we get past that, then obviously then we go into what's called price discovery, which means that there's no there's no support and resistance above that, to where buyers and sellers will be looking at to take profits and to re-enter and things like that. So you end up with with kind of explosive moves like this one. And obviously, what with it being price discovery, those moves do tend to continue higher. The way to project where they're going to end up is using Fibonacci levels, but we'll cover that in another video because I've been talking too long as it is. So thank you ever so much, guys. Everybody that's liked and subscribed and looked at the thing. I did notice actually. I can understand why a lot of people, their videos in YouTube say, "Can you please like and subscribe and hit the bell and all those things?" Because I think yesterday's video had 150 views or something and about 23 likes, which I'd understand if it was 23 likes and 130 dislikes. But there's just 23 interactions, 23 people that have taken a couple of seconds just to click the button. So like or dislike by all means, please. I'll be very grateful, and it'll help me spread the channel and grow it more quickly and all those nice good things. So but thanks ever so much, guys. I really appreciate everything, and I'll speak to you again tomorrow. All the best. Take care now. Always remember, take profits and buy something real. All the best, guys.